Here we are back by the street where the secondary water comes in off the city streets. So here we have the secondary water coming in to the stop and waste turn off shut off valve, and then they previously had set it up with a little hose bib, and then you have this filter, inline filter for the main line. So over here you can see that whoever installed this before installed it to where the stop and waste key, this part right here, should be facing straight up, but instead this is right above it. It's facing it like a 45 degree. So in order not to incur additional cost and try to deal with all this that's probably kind of rusted on here, we're probably just going to leave this alone and just change out the filter to be able to have something that doesn't have a long bottom to it, and it'll be easy for it to hook up and do winterization. The filter that we're going to put on here, you can see the flow that it shows right there, and so this will actually install basically right along here. Let's get started. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to extract this adapter right here out of this hose bib T, and then we're going to cut it right around here, and then I think we have enough flex in this pipe to be able to not have to use a slip fix. If you're not sure what a slip fix is, check out the other video about that. Here we have just the automatic drain, so when the system's turned off, the pipes can drain, but it won't leak out when it's pressurized. So you can kind of have a view of that. So we'll leave all that alone, but we're just going to take out this section right here and redo it with the new filter. That's going to be easier to access. Here we are just using this pipe wrench to loosen up this piece out of here. Another thing that I wanted to show you is, so with our new filter that we're going to be putting in, this one, unfortunately we couldn't just thread out of it. It's not threaded, it's all glued into there, so that's why we're just going to change it out with this one, and then this one will actually be threaded on there. So if there's any need to redo this section or change it up, or if we want to come back and replace the stop and waste, then we could easily undo it. It's going to be a lot better option. Then we'll be able to access the filter from the top versus this one's underneath. We're just going to cut it off here for now, and if we need to cut more then we can, but at least we're not cutting off more than we really need to. There you go, nice straight cut. Now we got the Teflon tape onto the threads of the filter to make sure it doesn't leak. So now we are ready to screw these on the slip threaded couplers right here. So we're about to throw those on each side. Okay, and we'll also make sure that we're putting Teflon on this bushing or male adapter. We're gonna make sure kind of all those leftover old Teflon is out of the threads, and here this brass fitting, so that's going to go in there. Now that we have that bushing into that brass T fitting, and that has Teflon in it, all these have been Tefloned. Now we're going to get ready to put this little piece of 1-inch PVC pipe onto here, but make sure we prime all the ends inside and out of here, and the pipe as well, and over on this filter as well. So we're going to prime it, get it all ready, and we'll glue it into one end, and then we'll put it in the other one right there. All right, so now we're done priming that. We got that all primed inside there, as well as this little piece of PVC pipe. And then also we just went ahead and got these couplers all primed. So now we're ready to glue this into first the filter part, and then we'll go ahead and glue it into there. So now we have it all glued in to this part. This side is not yet glued in over here because we're going to measure that and cut this piece specifically to the right amount that it needs to go inside this. So then we've been banking on being able to use the flex that we have in this pipe to be able to bend it a little bit and pull it back, and then slide it over the top of this piece right here, so that way we don't have to use that slip fix. Okay, so we got this cleaned off. We just use a paper towel with a little bit of water on it to kind of clean it off. We could just do it with the primer, but I like to clean it off first, and then we'll prime it all right here. This one's already primed, and then we're going to see if we can move this back far enough to be able to get this on to there. So we are going to cut it back right to length. So that's going to be the moment of truth, to see if we can slide this over that and have a good connection without having a slip fix involved. So we dug this out a little bit so we have a little bit more flex to this pipe, so that way we can kind of bring them both up and bring them together so we can get the joint inside the coupler. So that's what we're going to do right now. All right, here we are. All right, check it out. We were able to make it work. We were able to dig that up enough to have enough flex in the pipe so we didn't have to use the slip fix. We have the automatic drain already installed there. Clean this all up. Stop and waste, our new filter that we installed. So this from this is all new that we just installed. Looking nice, looking good. Now we're just letting it dry. We'll give it probably just till tomorrow to be safe, to have a full cure time before we try to run water through it. But usually just 10 minutes is all you need. Before we put on this ball valve, so that way we can shut it off, and it's kind of like the bleeder valve or flushing valve, right? We're going to put Teflon on these threads here too, just to make sure we have a nice seal before we screw this on here. All right, that's a wrap. We got her all done. It's looking good, and now just time to cure a little bit.